Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Zach. It's the Average Guys Pro Wrestling Podcast. We're going to start off tonight with a little something different. We're going to start off with a trivia title defense by the Cappy. He's taking on his first challenger by the name of Tucker.
Hello.
Oh my God. I just put the show in my ears that it hurt. So we'll go ahead and get started with that. So introducing first, we got the challenger, Tucker. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Tucker, obviously. I am a wrestling fan, kind of. I've been out of the scene for a few years, a year or so, so this will be awful, probably. But I'm excited nonetheless.
And weighing in at 6.5 casks of rum, he is our predictions champion. He is also our trivia champion, the Dread Captain Stevens.
Yeah.
Every time you make me laugh when you do that. Unfortunately, because this is a podcast and not a live show where you can see the Cappy, there is no candy being thrown towards you. I did manage to catch some Captain Candy at the last show that we went to. That was the Colorado United show, where Cappy got a pin in his match. He was the one who won the match for that.
Woo!
Like I said, we're going to start off with the Trivia Championship. Are you guys ready?
No, but I wasn't ready when I got on, so let's go.
That's fair. All right, so Josie, you are also here. I'm sorry
Yes.
I did not introduce you.
Oh, no.
You're going to be the referee for tonight, so why don't you decide what Cappy and Tucker ring in with?
All right, Cappy, you're going to give me a mighty yar, and Tucker, you're going to say booty.
Booty O's or booty?
Booty.
Oh,
as in
wait, we can't
treasure.
say booty O's because...
Yes.
Trademark.
Yeah.
Trademark. No, you're going to say booty as in treasure.
All right.
Just
Yes, the
like
buzzers are pirate themed today.
Yeah, your buzzers just say booty before he says
gotcha.
yar.
Okay. I thought you just wanted me to say booty. I was very confused.
I mean, you could say booty if you want
Yeah,
to.
you can say booty if you want.
Booty,
I'm
booty,
not gonna
booty,
judge
booty. All right, so question number one. Oh, I forgot to mention the theme of this episode or this trivia defense is going to be Monday Night Raw. So I'm going to have questions about the history of Raw. All right, so what historical venue was the site of the very first Raw?
Yar.
Cappy.
Manhattan Center.
That is correct. So we got 1 point for Cappy. Still nothing from Tucker, but we've only had one question, so it'd be hard for him to have two.
Yeah, well.
All right, question number two, and don't ring until I'm done saying all of these because you're going to want to know. Which one of these four superstars made their WWE in-ring debut on Raw? Only one of them has. Was it A, The Miz, B, Chris Masters, C, John Cena, or D, CM Punk?
Booty.
Tucker.
I feel like it was Chris Masters.
That is correct.
Wow, really?
Yeah. The Miz and CM Punk both had their in-ring debuts in ECW, and John Cena answered Kurt Angle's open challenge on SmackDown.
That makes sense.
I thought the Miz was the moderator of the first Diva Search too.
He was, but I said in-ring debut. So, question number three: who was revealed as the anonymous Raw general manager?
Yar.
Cappy.
It's Hornswoggle.
Oh,
Gabby?
Gabby?
Did you get it? Was Hornswoggle.
Damn.
Yes, that is correct.
I was going to say fucking Hornswoggle.
Yeah, you cut out when you answered that, so I was like, is he going to say something?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I do apologize to Tucker because I am dealing with a crappy mic tonight.
Oh, that's
Oh, no.
fun.
All right, question number four. Who was Raw's first ring announcer?
Oh, booty.
Tucker.
Howard Finkel?
That is correct.
Nice.
Tied up 2-2. All right, question number 5. Although it debuted and is currently on the USA Network, Raw had a brief stint on what other cable network?
Booty.
Yar.
Tucker.
UPN.
Incorrect.
What?
And
Gabby?
Raw
God.
specifically went to TNN, which later became Spike TV.
That is
Ah,
correct.
I was thinking SmackDown, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
SmackDown was on UPN.
God damn it.
All right, 3-2 in Cappy's favor. Question number 6. Who unsuccessfully cashed in their Money in the Bank contract at Raw 1000 against CM Punk?
Yar.
Cappy.
John Cena.
That is correct. He was attacked by the Big Show right before, or he was attacked by the Big Show during the match, so he got a DQ. Question number 7. The very first Raw had 4 matches, not including a dark match. One of these was a title match where Shawn Michaels defended his title. All I need you to tell me is, what title did he defend?
Booty?
Tucker.
Yar.
Intercontinental?
Correct.
Got it. Yes.
3-4. Going into question number 8. Raw is currently 3 hours long, but what kicked off this current 3-hour version of Raw?
Booty?
Yar.
Tucker.
Was it Nitro going to 3 hours?
Incorrect.
Damn it.
Cappy.
The Raw 1000.
That is correct. Tucker, you're going to have to get
1000.
2 answers in a row to tie this up.
Yeah, okay.
And then I have a tiebreaker question, but question number 9. What event caused Raw to drop Is War from its name?
Booty?
Tucker.
Was it Brian Pillman's death?
It was not Brian Pillman's death.
Damn it. I'm so bad all the time.
Cappy, you want to take a guess?
It was the 9/11 attacks.
That is correct.
That makes sense.
All right. Well, Cappy has run away here, but we might as well ask the last question because I got the question anyways. Question number 10. Which of these factions / tag teams did not appear on Raw? A, Titus Worldwide. B, Absolution. C, the Rock and Rave Infection. Or D, Evolution.
Yar.
Booty?
Tucker.
Was it the Rock and Rave Inflection? Whatever you said?
Infection. Yeah, they were a TNA tag team.
Yeah, I was about to say, I've never heard of that staple.
Yeah, and Raw was primarily, or Evolution was primarily on Raw.
Yeah, I remember that. And Absolution, that was the LOD knockoff, wasn't it?
No, that is the current faction of Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, and Paige.
Oh, I'm thinking of something else. I'm bad at wrestling, everyone. That's the theme of this show.
That's fair. Well, we'll keep you around anyways because we like you.
And we need Kevin.
Yeah, and we got to replace Josh and Chris. Chris is apparently still somewhere off in Europe. Oh, right. Before I forget, though, the winner of tonight's trivia title, in his first successful defense since winning the trivia title, we have the Dread Captain Stevens.
Yar.
He has been the only one to defend it correctly, as you remember. Correctly, because Josh did defend it successfully. However, he did cheat. I asked Theory the answer to questions. So you were the first person to successfully defend it correctly and not cheat to win. Yeah. We're also technically the undisputed champion still because you still have the trivia title and you still have the predictions title. However, we do have a pay-per-view, I think, at the end of the month.
We do. We have a Trivination Chamber.
Yeah. So we should probably talk about that because it is coming up. We have pretty much the entire men's chamber set and the women's chamber set.
Yeah, they've only got 3 matches so far.
Yeah, so let's start off with the women's one because this one should be real interesting. We have Alexa Bliss defending her title against Bayley, Mandy Rose, Mickie James, Sonya Deville, and Sasha Banks. I honestly think that they were going to put Paige in this before the injury, probably take out, I don't know, Mickie James. I love Mickie James, but I think at this point she kind of feels out of place in this match. Like the Bayley Sasha Banks thing, I think they're starting to build on a feud with that, especially with what happened on Raw this week. I don't know if you guys watched Raw this week.
I did.
Yeah, I did.
I actually did.
But yeah, so Sasha had that brutal match against Asuka last week and was watching the film. Bayley comes in and was like, this is like the millionth time you watched this match. Like, I'm wrestling Asuka tonight. Do you have any advice? And she's like, well, if I can't beat her, you can't beat her. And then Bayley with just like the quick burn of, well, I've beaten you. So if you think you can beat her, then maybe I can beat her. But I think that I honestly think that going into Mania, if Sasha doesn't win the title at the Chamber, we're going to have a Bayley Sasha program.
Which I'm fine with.
Yeah, I mean, Bayley Sasha programs have been really good in the past. It was probably one of the better feuds NXT had.
Yeah, their final match in NXT was really, really good.
I think pretty consistently, they are both really, really good workers, and every time I've seen them in the ring together, it has always been a brawl for all intents and purposes. I mean, they literally just go out there and put their all into, which makes their matches really exciting to watch.
Yeah. And like I said, that last match was very good, especially because they included fan favorite Izzy in that match. I think one of the best parts about that was when Sasha like snatched the tiara or whatever Izzy had and just like chucked it into the ring. You guys remember that, right?
Vaguely. That's right on the cusp of me getting back into wrestling, so I kind of barely remember that.
Yeah. Well, like Bayley was not Bayley. Izzy was crying in the audience because Bayley was getting her butt kicked.
Oh yeah, I do remember this.
And then Sasha went out to the audience and was like taunting Izzy, and then like took the tiara and chucked it in to the ring and stuff.
Yeah,
I remember that now.
I do remember that. That was in NXT. That was was that a Brooklyn Part 2? Or was that Brooklyn Part 1?
Maybe.
I'm
trying to remember.
But I do know what you're talking about.
Like the fact that Izzy's in the audience makes me think that it was one of those takeovers where they still had it at Full Sail.
Was it a Philly takeover?
Yeah.
It wasn't at Philly.
Yeah.
It may have been the one in Texas.
Yeah.
It could have did. I don't remember.
But I know Izzy was at it, but like she's been to a couple shows that have not been in Florida. Like she's at the Rumble. She was in the audience with whatever crazy amalgamation of Jewish stereotypes that whatever that announcer's name is.
Yeah.
Did you know who I'm talking about?
I
can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I want to... You talk about something. I'm looking this up because I can't remember.
I almost guarantee you that once Izzy kind of became the meme of Bayley's matches, I almost guarantee you WWE was giving her family tickets and all they had to pay for was flights. It just makes sense that she was there all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? As far as the Elimination Chamber goes, the women's one, I'm already over it.
Already?
Look, I get that the WWE wants to make history with the women, with the women's wrestlers and everything like that, but there's only so much they can do with it. Not everything has to be a first.
Yeah.
And not everything has to be history in the making. And if it is, by God, just tell us once or twice. You don't have to tell us every 5 minutes.
I think that is another thing as well, and it kind of feels like they're double dipping in that respect because they just had the first ever Women's Royal Rumble, which was great, and I think also wasn't that not true? Like they have a Royal Rumble. Oh, no, they had a Battle Royal.
They had a Battle Royal, which a guy won.
Yeah, which Santino Marella won. but I will say the promo that Alexa Bliss had with Kurt Angle was weird, because like she did bring up a really good point in that, Brock Lesnar is not in Chamber for the men's, but Alexa Bliss is. At the same time, though, Brock Lesnar did defend his title
more times.
At Rumble, and she did not. So
yeah, I honestly don't remember the last time I saw Bliss. What's it called? In the ring, defending her title.
And
I think Angle was right, and what he said, it was way back in October, which them keeping with their consistencies on like title defenses. It's like they took away Naomi's title because she was injured for like 2 weeks or like a month, and they're like, no, you have to defend within a month with 30 days, and Alexa Bliss hasn't defended her title since October, and it's been about that long for Charlotte now.
Yeah, she defended the November pay-per-view?
I think so. And I looked it up. It's Sam Roberts. Sam Roberts looks like an amalgamation of Jewish stereotypes to me.
Oh,
fair enough.
Yeah, but I think like that's kind of the thing as well. If WWE is going to go the route that they did with that Alexa Bliss promo, they have to be more careful, because I think that they really shot themselves in the foot, because like I think Alexa Bliss could have made a really good point if she had defended at Rumble, which she didn't, and now she's like, this is sexism. It's like, it's not really, though. Like, I get where you're coming from, because Lesnar's not in the Elimination Chamber, but again, he defended his title successfully, and you didn't. So
I think the cool thing that they kind of did with that is like they're making this thing happen where they're bringing in the issues, but they're still making their heels be heels. It's kind of like what they did. I want to say it was like 4 or 5 years ago. Edge, was supposed to have a match on Martin Luther King Day, and he's like, "No, I'm not having this on this day because the city that I'm in was the last one to ratify some like civil rights amendment." But Johnny Nitro here is like 1/5 black, so he's going to defend the honor of that.
Yeah, I remember that. That was kind of cringy.
His spray tan made him slightly darker than the other superstars.
Yeah. But I get it. Like, WWE wants to address these kind of things. Like a few months ago with the whole Reigns Cena promo, where Cena called out all the people like, I have this magical shovel that just buries everyone. And he's like, no, I work harder than everyone else for what I get. And, when I beat someone, they treat it as getting buried instead of, okay, I got beat, time to move on.
Yeah, because and the meme was that Cena was just winning all the time, and I think that was about bad booking. But I won't ever say that he's not a good worker, and I think that a lot of the time it was deserved, and he did deserve those victories, just not as consistently.
I will say one thing that I did find funny on Raw this week was with John Cena's random iPhone promo that they've been using now. His argument as to why he was going to win was just basically, well, I'm John Cena, so lol, Cena wins.
Except the fact that he's like, but how old is he now? He's like 40 something. John Cena is currently, he's 40 exactly. He's getting old, and he's still strong, but he's gonna start to waver a little bit,
I mean, Josh's favorite football player, Tommy Touchdown, is 40, and he just set a record in the Super Bowl for most yards thrown in a Super Bowl. So
true.
40-year-olds can do things now. 40 is the new 20.
40 is the new 25.
Oh god.
But
there is hope for you, Josie.
Slight, but it's there.
Yeah, I've only got 8 more years to go. Great.
It's okay. I will go to your funeral if it is on a weekend. If it's on a weekday, I can't go.
After 4 p.m.
Yeah, I'll be sure to die on the Saturday.
Yeah, do me that favor, please.
Yeah. The Bayley Asuka match last week, fantastic.
You mean
really
this week?
Or this week, I'm sorry. I thought it was really good. I still think that Asuka is probably my favorite female worker in the industry right now. Her kicks make me want to die because they are just the stiffest. And she doesn't stop either. She just keeps going
Yes.
with those kicks. And I'm surprised she hasn't injured more workers with them. But I thought that they had a really good match. I did notice though, and this may have just been my nitpicking because I am pretty particular when it comes to mat work. I did notice that Asuka's really fast on the mat when she needs to be, particularly for holds and rest holds. But I don't know if the rest of the women's division can compete with that. Like I saw sometimes where she was going really fast and Bailey couldn't exactly keep up. I'm just curious to see if maybe that's just me or if you guys see that too.
No, I've seen that in WWE, and I've also seen that in a couple other matches. I'm not going to cite a specific case that's in my head because I'm going to be nice to the names, but I will say they were wrestling Tessa Blanchard, and like they just couldn't keep pace. And instead of having just like a really good match that I know Tessa Blanchard could put on, and ended up just being a very boring and quick match that had to end quickly because the person just couldn't keep up. And I think that you're right. Asuka does that to a lot of people. Like when Asuka has matches with Dana Brooke, I don't think Dana Brooke can hold her own in that. So like Dana Brooke looks terrible in the ring with her, but somebody like Ember Moon or Sasha, who is very athletically gifted and can like go the distance, it looks really good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not saying that Bailey's not athletic or anything like that. I do think that Bailey is also a really, really good worker. It's just that, like I said, it just seems like she couldn't keep up. Maybe it was that particular match. I know that Bailey and Asuka have had other bouts that have been fantastic, but I've noticed that she does that a lot with other female talent as well. And I think the only way that could really work is in a situation when, like with Sasha. I remember the Asuka Sasha matches being great. And then like
did Asuka have matches with Sasha?
I thought she did.
I know Bailey did because Asuka took the title off of Bailey.
Oh, I think actually Sasha may have left NXT by the time, Sasha may have left NXT by the time Asuka actually started to get pushed.
Yeah, I wasn't watching. Like I just started watching NXT when Asuka took the title from Bailey, so I'm not 100% on that.
Let me remember. I feel like I've seen it. Yeah, they've had bouts even on Raw. Like the one they had last week. But regardless, when she fights with someone who's really athletic, it does work really well. I think one match I thought was really interesting in its execution was actually Asuka versus Nia Jax last year, or a year or two ago.
The one at TakeOver?
Yeah, because Nia Jax can't move. She's, very much a heavy hitter, brawler type. And I thought that actually created an interesting dynamic, even if the match wasn't great. That since Asuka's this fast, kind of cat-like stiff kicker, Nia Jax could literally just stand in the ring like Big Show and just watch her run circles and then just grab her and be like, "You're on the floor now."
Yeah, and I honestly think that's what's going to be the match that Nia and Asuka have at Elimination Chamber, because that's the other match that was announced on Raw this week. Nia Jax versus Asuka. If Nia Jax wins, she is inserted into whatever WrestleMania match Asuka will have. I think there's a non-zero chance that Nia Jax wins, but it's not much higher than zero.
I don't see it.
I could maybe put it over 1%, but it's still very low.
Mm-hmm.
I do see something happening with someone interfering in that match, and then they'll make it a three-way no matter what, kind of like what they did with Kane, Strowman, and Lesnar.
That's a possibility.
That is a possibility.
The only issue I see with that, though, is like if somebody comes in and interferes in the match and Asuka loses by DQ, then they're just going to tarnish something that they've built up. And like, yeah, we all know that it's not going to be a real loss, but on the official record books, it's going to say Nia Jax win. It'll say DQ win, but it'll still say win. And Asuka will be however many times she's won and won.
Right. And I don't think Nia Jax would necessarily be a worthy opponent for her to lose her streak over.
No,
like I would much rather have her lose it over, like, and I'm going to make a prediction here, like Bailey, Or if Alexa Bliss holds her title, I think that could also be a good match. Although I don't know, like if Bayley already has a hard time keeping up with Asuka sometimes, I don't know how Alexa Bliss is going to do.
Yeah, and honestly, what I see happening is with Asuka's undefeated streak, I think it's either going to be Bayley that's going to do it in an underdog type situation, because that's what you need to do with Bayley. Like, to get Bayley's character correct, you can't do the like baby, like 10-year-old in an adult's body that they were doing last year with her and her feud with Alexa Bliss. I could also see Charlotte doing it. But I think that's pretty much everyone's like, if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Charlotte. The other one that I can see happening, and it's not going to happen for a while because she's still in NXT, is once you bring Ember Moon up to main, you could have Ember Moon beat Asuka on main because she's been pretty close to doing it.
Yeah, and they put on some really good matches before.
A lot of people have been close.
Josh, it's been Josh.
Josh. As long as they don't give it to Rousey,
The good old
I'll be
Steve
happy.
Daggett here.
You know who it's gonna be, and the internet's gonna mark the fuck out.
It's not going to be Rousey.
It's gonna be AJ Lee.
No.
Actually, it's just trying to incite CM Punk chants there. Sorry, guys.
I was going to say, Josh, I said there's a non-zero chance that Nia Jax beats Asuka at Elimination Chamber. I think that the percentage of that is lower.
That's an actual zero chance.
Well, what's the Steiner math on it?
Well, you see,
in a match,
Asuka's a genetic freak.
Asuka is a genetic freak. Like that
Yeah.
part, at least, definitely checks out.
I'd
We're
like to
talking about
see-
who's going to finally beat Asuka.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we've been talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be either me personally. I think Bayley, Sasha, or Charlotte. Those are the only three I can actually see doing it.
What
I
the Four
once-
Horsemen?
I once got my hopes up that the iconic duo could beat her because it was like 2 against 1, and Asuka, while undefeated, is not iconic. But they let me down, so I don't think anybody can beat Asuka.
I think it'd be ill-advised for them to drop the streak going into Mania, because I think that I think Zach right. 100%. I think Asuka's going to win against Jax, unless some Anawaki fucking, or not Anawaki. What's the Rock last name? I'm so bad.
Annoy.
Anawai, that's right. Anawai, Anawaki, the famous underground civilization. Unless some Anawai fingers get into that pie. But I think, like, if they really want to push Asuka into that level of female superstardom that I think they honestly should, then she's probably not going to drop it until after Mania.
You mean Survivor Series? I mean, not Survivor Series. SummerSlam, maybe. Maybe
SummerSlam, maybe. She might drop it at SummerSlam, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if they brought her in a little closer to Mania last year, the Mania this year would have been a good spot for her to drop it at. But she's only been here for a couple of months. It hasn't been long enough for her to drop her streak.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. So Josh, you're here. I know that we were going to start doing this last week, but we kind of didn't. I know we wanted to
booking a WrestleMania.
Yeah, we wanted to book our WrestleMania. Kevin fucked up and forgot to remind me, so Kevin got fired.
That's okay. I did
You
hire
replaced him with a new Kevin.
Yes,
That's true.
We did get a new Kevin.
Unfortunately, that was the Kevin that I fired was the one that was supposed to get your beer, Josh. So I don't think you're ever getting your beer.
Oh man, new Kevin.
So I think what we should do for this week is we should start off with 2, because the way we planned out the math, it was working out that if we did 1 a week, we'd get it. So
I'm down for 2. You gotta give me a second to.
yeah,
Figure
I'm
out
gonna
what
go
match
ahead
I'm
and
gonna
start
move.
because I want to start off with my opening match, and I don't want to open with this match, but I think that it's the best way to do it with the perceived card that I want to build. So unfortunately, it's going to be on the pre-show. I think that the pre-show match should be the finals of the Cruiserweight Classic 2.0. And after watching 4 matches of the 8 that starts, and then seeing what the 2 matches for next week are, what I want to see in the finals, I want to see Cedric Alexander, of course, because that poor man has had nothing but bad luck with his championship matches. And knowing his luck, whoever the WWE decides to put him against is going to get arrested on their way to WrestleMania for like having 50 pounds of heroin in their bag or something, because that's been Cedric Alexander's luck, challenging for the WWE Cruiserweight title. So I want Cedric Alexander in the finals of the Cruiserweight tournament, and I want him against Roderick Strong. Because after watching Roderick Strong wrestle Hideo Itami this week, there's no doubt in my mind that I think Roderick Strong is perfectly fine moving up to the main roster from NXT. That means he's not going to win the UK title off Pete Dunne, but I don't think that the WWE cares, because the UK title at this point has become just, let's just give Pete Dunne a title that he can lob around the Indies, say that he's the best because he has a WWE title and can still fuck around with people on the Indies.
Well, that and like after he's chewed on it, like,
yeah, does anybody want it?
Would you want to touch it?
Not really.
It's like the old NXT women's title. Do you really want to touch that?
It was a beautiful title, so yes, I would.
And don't worry, Twitch fans, we are getting back to the men's elimination chamber, but we'll do it after our fantasy booking. It's kind of like a break in the show.
Yeah.
Oh man, so you've got the finals on the pre-show. I think we should give a pre-show match each.
I figured that's what we were doing, but yeah, if we want to do this as like the main show, we can have that as the opener for WrestleMania. I think that's a perfectly fine open for WrestleMania, excluding pre-show.
Yeah, I've only got a pre-show and an opening show thought of. That's
perfect. That's perfect.
Okay.
Dude, I think I might outdo you though on that with my pre-show.
All right, Josh, hit me with your pre-show.
I don't know. My pre-show is pretty good. All right, let's hear your pre-show.
I am going to have the Andre the Giant Battle Royale with a stipulation that the winner of the Andre the Giant Battle Royale gets to have a match against the United States champion on the main card.
I think that's a good idea, honestly, because the Andre the Giant winner, they don't really get anything at this point. Like, what has, what is Mojo Rawley gotten for winning the Andre the Giant Battle Royale other than go fuck yourself to his partner?
Oh no, he got tickets to the Gronk cruise, and I've heard that is a lovely boat ride.
He did go to the Super Bowl, I think.
Well,
he did.
When you have homegrown WWE talent, they're gonna perform at the biggest stage.
Yeah, did you hear, Josh? I think this might excite you. I heard that Rob Gronkowski guy might stop playing for the NFL, and he wants to do acting, but I think what he means by acting is he wants to go back to the WWE.
Sports acting.
Yes.
Yeah. That is what wrestling is.
I'm not going to lie. If we get the Gronk into E, I would love that.
Oh,
it's like the only Patriots player I actually like.
Oh, but they're all so beautiful and wonderful, and they have the top heel in the game. I heard today that one of them faked somebody out and made him look all stupid, which is hilarious. He just scumbagged it. Like, nope, verbal contract don't mean shit.
Hey, I'm going to come coach for you guys. Just kidding.
Psych.
I'd like to see Rob Gronkowski come in to Kurt Angle's music, but instead it would say "You lost."
That would be wonderful.
That would be awesome.
I will say the best part about that entire thing last year was the security guard who didn't realize that he was supposed to hop the barricade, and you have this security guard who's probably 5'2", trying to stop Rob Gronkowski, the largest tight end in the league.
Yeah.
This tiny man trying to stop this giant meat monster.
Well, it was this tiny lady.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah,
It was a lady versus a genetic freak.
And it's funny because if you ever see Gronkowski like off the field when he's just doing normal stuff, he's just like a giant puppy dog.
I watched him once spike different foods on a daytime show. It was wonderful. There was like it ended with like a bottle of or like a package of guac at the end of the table. He didn't quite make it to it, and they're just like, do you want to spike the guac? And Gronk just like nodded his head yes, and oh man, it exploded so beautifully against the floor.
That's hilarious.
When you said spike the food, I forgot that you meant like the Gronk spike. So I thought you meant he like spiked it with like
liquor,
with alcohol.
Yeah, shit. I was like, "What are you doing, Rob? You can't do that."
He's gonna.
I mean, he does honestly remind me of like one of the world's like biggest frat boys.
Well, he is.
He would totally put that vodka in that prime rib.
This man has a party cruise.
That is true. So, Josh, who's winning the Andre the Giant Battle Royale?
Well, he's a Samoan, and his name's Joe. I'm saying Roman Reigns comes in and wins it. And I'm kidding. Kidding.
Comes in at number 30.
Just gonna.
Yes.
He's just gonna win the whole goddamn event. WrestleMania won by Roman Reigns.
I believe you met Roman Mania.
I thought it was Rusev Mania.
No, it's always Roman Mania.
Oh, okay.
He's gonna pull a Bobby Lashley and just win all of the titles.
It's gonna be Samoa Joe, and it will set up Samoa Joe versus who I'll let you guys in on later as the U.S. champion.
Interesting. All right, Josie, what is your opening match to WrestleMania?
All right, my opening match is probably never going to happen, but I think people would pop so hard for it if it was the introduction of Ricochet.
Nice.
I like it.
Yeah, okay. Also, with Mysterio on Twitter going pretty heavy-handed with the rumors that he's coming back, like it's guaranteed that he's coming back.
So we're going to have Rey Mysterio versus Trevor Ricochet Man.
No. We've got one more because there is a certain other oh God, what is the term? King of the Cruiserweights that said he would love to come back.
I think you're misquoting him if you're saying Neville wants to come back, but I like it.
Hey, even if it's just for this match alone, my pre-show match would be a three-way between Ricochet, Mysterio, and Neville.
That's not even like pre-show. That's actual Mania match to me.
Yeah, but with the way that he treats the Cruiserweights, that's a pre-show.
Do you want Neville to actually leave?
Do I want Neville to actually leave? No.
That's how you do it right there. Like, hey, Neville.
No. I want him to come back and actually join the main roster and not be with the Cruiserweights.
That I am a big fan of. I am very upset that he is pretty much like just never on the show anymore. Because Neville is one of my favorite wrestlers in the company.
Yep. And Ricochet, I think he'd be fine in the Cruiserweights to start until he starts kicking ass and he's like, well, time to move up.
Yeah.
I will say that that's been the best thing that I think Hunter has done since kind of taking more creative control over the WWE, because obviously McMahon was all about big beefcakes, and which is great for physique and bodybuilding, but not great when you want to have actual good in-ring action. No. And I think Hunter's a lot more in tune with like what particularly fans who used to be indie fans or are like kind of more wrestling aficionados want to see, which is just some dumb shit, like crazy spots and things like that.
And I think
Tucker, real quick, you need to call him by his correct name. It is not Hunter, it is Daddy H.
Of course.
I thought it was the man with 3 H's. And also, the technical term is big sweaty men. Yes. That's what Vince McMahon loves, is big sweaty men.
Big sweaty
men.
What?
It's funny that you said that, because back in the day when WCW was a thing, them pushing the cruiserweights so hard is actually what boosted their ratings so much.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, with the people that they had, like Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Jericho, pushing all of those people.
Stinko Malenko.
Yeah, good old Malenko.
I love Stinko Malenko. He might be like the most underrated cruiserweight of that time frame.
No, the most underrated cruiserweight is fucking Juventud Guerrero. Sorry. I liked Juventud. I thought he was good.
Yeah.
What about Kiwi?
Kwee-wee?
What about Kwee-wee?
What about him?
Yeah, what about Kwee-wee?
His hair is magnificent. That's
Okay.
about all I can say.
All right, so
Cappy,
Zach?
do you have a opening match that you want to put?
Yes, thank you, Cappy.
Oh, something to kick off the show, something to start our WrestleMania, right? And,
It's your pre-show. This is what you're giving the people for free.
right. I gotta ask you
This
guys.
is what
real
you're
quick
doing to
question
get the
before-
last minute WrestleMania sales.
All right, so I want to ask you guys a question. What did you think of my match with Cody Devine kicking off Primo's year for 2018, the very first match of the year? What did you guys think?
Cody is the greatest wrestler in Colorado, so it was great.
Right, so I want to kick off
Got him.
explosive. Right, I want to take the reins and I want to blow the doors off this thing from start to finish. I want to start this with Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan.
On the
As a
pre-show?
No, you
give it
said opener. You said
No.
opener.
No,
Starts the
no.
show. If I'm
No,
doing
this is what-
pre-show, then
Yeah.
I'm gonna do something stupid like a 6 women's tag.
Oh man, who are the 6 women?
I'm gonna like for Raw. I'm gonna throw in like Dana Brooke.
I only
She's
accept
not
Dana
gonna be
Brooke
on.
if she is wearing the secretary outfit
Yes.
while wrestling.
Yes.
Please.
And she needs Titus behind her as her hype man for the match.
He has to support Titus Worldwide.
Yeah.
As honorary members of Titus Worldwide, we need to back up Titus in any way that we can.
Yes.
I was actually going to bring that up with the Apollo Miz match. I did notice the Dana Brooke is like a secretary. Did she break her arm like in body so bad that she just doesn't wrestle anymore?
No, because she was in the Rumble. Yeah,
So
she's
just-
just like she was hired by Titus Worldwide to be like their data analyst.
Ah, okay, that's the gimmick.
It,
Okay.
I don't think she's
Zach?
working television matches
Yeah,
right now.
Just
No, that's-
Yeah, like she had a main event match against Mickey like a couple weeks ago that she won. She
Oh,
did
wow, okay.
pin Mickey James though. That was the
Wow.
thing that happened.
yeah, this whole data analyst gimmick is because they want her training more.
Which
Oh.
she needs because
yeah.
Yeah,
she's not
So-
the best.
yeah, because this gives her a chance to work on her mic skills, and while they're on the road, she could do her ring training. It's fine.
So Cappy, you got Dana Brooke returning. Who else is in this match?
All right, we got Dana Brooke, we got Bailey, and we got Mickey James. Right, that's side one.
Okay.
And side two, to throw a curveball into their stupid Survivor Series shtick of the only night that Raw and SmackDown battle. Yeah, bullcrap. On the other side, we're gonna have Becky Lynch, and I don't care, Carmella.
Well, we got to give Carmella a loss because she's going to cash in her main Money in the Bank later in the night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Obviously.
All right. Well, we got Cappy's pre-show match and his opener. Tucker, you're a guest for a week. We're going to give you at least a pre-show match. What would you like on your pre-show?
Gotcha. So, since I have no idea what's going on in wrestling, I can't make an educated opinion. So here is what I would do. It's the pre-show. So what you do is you take returning hype man Mojo Rawley comes down the ramp and he is just losing his goddamn mind. And then on top of that, you have, is Zack Ryder still a thing?
Yes.
Have Zack Ryder fight him, but they don't fight. They just have a bit of a little cuddle puddle in the ring.
You know that actually works because technically they are kind of feuding since they broke up.
You know, they just cuddle out their frustrations.
They cuddle in the ring.
Yeah,
Aw.
Just an aggressive cuddle match.
just aggressive cuddle match. It's good for the family. It's good for everyone
15
else.
minutes of rest holds. And
People love rest holds.
rest holds and small packages. Paul Smackage might show up.
That
That
You
might
have
be
the match
copyrighted.
go
I don't
on
know if I can
while,
say that.
You have the match go on while Renee and company introduce the rest of the show to us. And in the background is just them in like
Booker T banished to the pre-show panel.
Yeah, some rear like chokehold, like in the middle of the ring. Meanwhile, on tonight's match, we have Randy Orton putting us through another match with Plague.
Right.
Just going on.
It's just
I don't know. I feel
Oh,
like at a
what?
certain point, what I'd really like to see is another like the backlot brawl that Goldust and Roddy Piper 12
Oh, that
Right.
was
over the whole event.
that's one of my favorite pro wrestling things that's ever happened because it brought up like my favorite bit of real world pop culture, which is the OJ car chase. Like,
All right, Josh. Give us your opening match for the show. We got Cappies already. Can you beat Shane McMahon versus Daniel Bryan, which does sound pretty great, but also pretty terrible because unless AJ Styles is wrestling Shane McMahon, it's not really a good match, in my opinion.
I got one that's gonna tear the house down, and it's gonna kick us off in a really great way.
All right.
It is going to be a first to two falls triple threat match for a certain title. I'll name the competitors and then we'll figure out the title. It is going to be in one corner, Gentleman Jack Gallagher.
I like
In
it
another
already.
corner, Neville, who's finally returned. And in the third corner, Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne?
And this is for the SmackDown Women's title, you say?
Yes.
Ah.
It is for the UK title.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's a very solid.
Yeah, that's a solid match.
Is that like a real answer?
Yes.
I still stand behind Mojo Rawley writer Cuddle Puddle.
Are they still doing a cuddle puddle while
Yeah,
the
they're
main
still-
pay-per-view's going? So that's
Yeah,
your entire WrestleMania is their cuddle puddle?
Yeah, the gimmick is you have to wrestle around the Cuddle Puddle.
Oh.
Yeah, if they get pushed out of the ring, you know, someone's gonna come back in, roll them in.
It's
Well,
like
no,
a
the cuddle
it's like a
sleeves where
reverse
they land.
lumberjack.
Bringing out the TNA memes, I see.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh man.
and occasionally the refs have to come down, give them a little bit of warm milk, just because they get a little bit too excited with their Cuddle Puddle. And calm them down a little bit.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, Josie, do you have a opening match for your WrestleMania?
I do. And now that I think about it, after my pre-show match, I should have made my pre-show the opening match. Because let's face it, Ricochet, Mysterio, and Neville is a great way to kick off WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But
that would add some last minute sales to WrestleMania, I think. So I think it's a decent pre-show.
so my opening match, I chose the Balor Club versus Revival led by Samoa Joe.
Okay.
They go hard all day and all night.
Yeah.
No flips, just fists.
Just this. And I think Samoa Joe would be a nice addition to the Revival, and they would have a great feud with Balor Club.
Okay.
Anything with the Revival that doesn't involve having them being squashed by a bunch of retirees, all for it. Like,
Big fan.
big
Yeah.
fan.
I remember when I watched the Revival debut in NXT back in 2016 or whenever that was. I wasn't really about it. I think because I didn't fully understand their gimmick. When I realized that they're like really old school heels, I was like totally for them. But it's kind of sounding like they're not being treated great.
Yeah,
It's because
unfortunately.
they've been injury prone.
Yeah.
That would do it. Yeah.
Yeah, like, one of them got
incidentally-
One of them got injured, and then the night they came back, the other one got injured. I don't remember which one was injured first or not, but I know that it was basically like one got injured, they finally came back, and then the very night they came back, the other one was injured.
Oh.
Do you remember which one was which, Josh?
No,
I know you're a bigger fan of the Revival than I am.
I love the Revival, but no, I just have assumed they've both been hurt for like the last year because I can't process them not being on TV.
I will say Scott Dawson is the better of the two, in my opinion.
Yes,
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Scott Dawson is the angry bald one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both angry, but like he's
Isn't he the less cut one though? Like he does not have as much muscle definition.
He looks more like the classic like Four Horsemen style heel, which I think it was what sells him better. The other guy kind of like Dash Wilder is okay, but like he just kind of looks like a generic, like how you would think a professional wrestler would look who is a mid-carder.
Yeah,
Like that's not trying to sell him short in any way, but that's what he looks like to me, unfortunately.
I think Scott Dawson, he looks kind of almost like a young Arn Anderson in that regard, kind of like just the way that he's built and whatnot, or maybe like a young Ric Flair in his physique. And I think maybe that as well is probably why he's over as well, because he's mixed with that kind of old school heel gimmick. I think that makes him fairly successful.
I also think the facial hair is 1,000% what sells it for him too.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like there's a wrong way to do facial hair in wrestling, and then there's what he's doing.
What is the current wrong way to do facial hair in wrestling?
Sheamus when he braided his beard.
Oh, that was so bad.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. All right,
There's not one that's that bad right now. There is other really terrible features that people are choosing to still go with, but
Yeah.
haircuts.
Zach, did you want to give us your opening match?
Yeah, so we're going to start off WrestleMania the way that we should start WrestleMania off. It's going to be a feud. It's going to be the culmination of the feud, and I'll even tell you who goes over in this match once I finish the match. Your first competitor, he's very hard to see. He has a doctorate. He's not certified, but he has a doctorate in thugonomics. We're talking John Cena.
Who?
He's going to open up WrestleMania. He's going to wrestle a current WWE star. So, unfortunately, we're going to have a part-timer versus a star. But John Cena's not going over. John Cena is going to finish off this feud that he just started with someone. And I have 3 words for you, Josh. I have 3 words for you, Josie. 3 words for you, Steven. And 3 words for you, Tucker. All the same word. Who wants to walk with Elias?
That's a lot more than 3.
Yeah.
Who wants to walk with Elias?
Who wants to walk?
I love
W
Elias.
Okay.
Have you heard his
5
songs?
words. 5 words. Who wants to walk with Elias?
There's the math.
6 words.
I
Yeah,
got
6
my
words.
math. Okay, I got my math degree from Scott Steiner. Okay.
Just
You could
to
tell.
remind everybody.
I thought you got it from Phil from the movie Hercules there, man.
Just to remind
So,
everybody, Zach here is supposed to be
No.
the brain.
Hang on 1 sec. That line in Hercules is actually hilariously funny because he says what 2 words, I am retired or something like that.
Yes, and the Greek words for "I am retired" is actually 2 words.
Yeah, so Philoctetes is secretly teaching us Greek. But yeah, I'm gonna start off my WrestleMania match or my WrestleMania with a culmination of the finish of the John Cena Elias Sampson feud. John Cena's putting over Elias Sampson at WrestleMania in the opening match because Elias Sampson is probably the best thing on Raw right now, in my opinion, and deserves to be put in this situation because Elias is just great. He even fits good old Vince McMahon's idea of a wrestler. He is a very large man. He is built. He's muscular. He
Yes.
looks like Seth Rollins. If that was how Seth Rollins, he looks.
He looks like Seth
getting
Rollins ate Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
I was going to say he looks like what Vince McMahon wants Seth Rollins to look like.
he's like a wumbo Seth Rollins.
Do the girlfriends get involved?
Bailey and Nikki Bella.
Yeah, dude. Of course, it's going to be Bailey. Hashtag Baylias. B-A-E.
See,
By the way,
here's thing.
everybody.
I get where you're going with that, but honestly, the Bailey Elias thing doesn't strike me as like Bailey dating a bad boy. It strikes me as Bailey has this older brother who dropped out of high school because he was too cool for high school, and Bailey was like the innocent one.
That's because they screwed it up. They had gold. They screwed it up.
Elias Sampson strikes me more as a older brother that Bailey asks you to let sleep on the couch. Like, you're dating Bailey, and then one day she's like, "Hey, my brother's in town. Can he crash on our couch?" And then he ends up staying for like 2 months and sells your TV for some weed.
Wait. So, is this like the Kurt Angle, Jason Jordan son thing, or am I having a fucking fever dream?
No, it's what they should have done.
It's what they should have done.
They should have.
Okay. I was about to say, like, I've already had the Jason Jordan bombshell on me today. I don't need more. Thank you.
Wait, you didn't see the resemblance?
The fact that they both have American trunks? No.
Have you heard the song on Family Guy? It's about that.
His black Jason Jordan is also a ninja.
Yeah. That I would buy. Him being Kurt Angle's son, not in my wheelhouse. Is it because they're both baldish, or at least short-haired?
The depressing thing is if they did like Gable was Kurt Angle's son.
They
even kind of
swerving
resemble each
around.
other.
And the most Vince Ruscio-ist, like,
Oh man,
swerve.
What if they're both Kurt Angle's kid?
I will say one of my favorite things about that was like 2 weeks after that, Daniel Bryan is like, "Chad, I have something to tell you as well." He's like, "You can't be my dad. You're only 3 years older than me."
That was, if I recall, that was the new SmackDown or Talking Smack.
I think they called it Smacking Talk or something like that. They only did 2 episodes of that, and I think that like Vince got super mad at them and told them to stop doing it. Like, somebody high up told them to stop doing that because they're like, "No, Talking Smack is dead except after pay-per-views," which is the dumbest thing that they could have done because Talking Smack was wonderful and it gave us such good moments. But now we have to deal with
that's how the
Rockstar Spud going with the most TNA name ever.
That is, bad.
Can we talk about this? Rockstar Spud becomes the general manager of 205 Live after leaving TNA, and then they give him the most TNA sounding name I have ever heard in Drake Maverick.
Well,
yeah.
You know who came up with that name?
Dixie Carter.
Dixie Carter. Of course they're talking. Dude, they've been talking to Dixie.
They need to stop then.
No. Because Dixie is like she's like the wrestling equivalent of a shit post. And I need that in my life.
I mean, if you're going to keep wrestling in the way that it should be, which is kind of a ridiculous shit fest, people like Dixie Carter and Vince Russo have a place in this industry.
Yeah. All right, guys. Sorry to interrupt, but we have a Twitch question.
Yeah.
And this is in addition to us getting back to the the men's elimination chamber.
Yeah, sorry that we've kind of strayed away from this.
No, they want to know our thoughts on the whole Corey Graves Booker T thing going on right now.
So I'll briefly explain for the people who don't know. As you have noticed, this past couple weeks on Raw, Booker T is no longer on the WWE Raw commentary team. He has been downgraded to the pre-show panel for pay-per-views and been replaced by Jonathan Coachman.
Welcome back, Coach.
Thing. We love Coach.
Yes, we do.
Coach, glad to have Coach back. The interesting thing, though, I cannot tell you what podcast it was on, but Booker T basically went on this podcast and pretty much said that the reason that he was kicked off of Raw was because Corey Graves basically lobbied to have Booker T kicked off the pre-show panel, and that if he saw Corey Graves on the street, he would beat his ass and his stupid-looking hair.
Oh.
Booker T's words, not mine. I love Corey's hair. And then
it's kind of stupid.
The best thing about this, in my honest opinion, is what Corey Graves said on Twitter, and I'm going to pull it up because I don't have it in front of me.
Zach, don't forget, he also threatened to break his neck, too.
He did threaten to break his neck.
Yes.
And like I said, Corey Graves replied to this. Corey Graves tweeted out, quote, "Thus the expert in battle moves the enemy and is not moved by him," which is a quote from Sun Tzu. And then in parentheses, he says, "Yes, this is what you think it is."
Corey's such a troll.
I saw that tweet on, I think it was R Squared Circle, and I was kind of like, what's going on between Corey and Booker? Because I kind of read the comments a little bit, and lo and behold, I watched Raw recently, and yeah, bye Booker, it seems.
Okay, well, it's not a bad thing.
No, I don't think so. But there was all these people defending Booker, and it's like he was great in the Ruthless Aggression era. He was a great wrestler in WCW, but he was not good on commentary. I'm sorry.
No, he was.
Couldn't complete a sentence.
Like he would just he would do that consistently and like say the dumbest things. It was almost as bad as Alundra Blaze was on the pre-show panel for the Rumble, and I want to talk about that too. But we can continue talking about this.
Like I would have a beer with Booker T, but I would not want him to be a commentator for my wrestling match.
I don't think I would ever have a beer with him. Like, have you ever seen him like doing any other shows, like when he was on ESPN or anything? Booker got like insanely mad at tiny little stuff.
Guys, can we facilitate the squashing of this beef? I think I've got the way to fix this.
Okay, go on.
So, Booker T, Corey Graves, please come to the average porium. Booker, you get to give Corey a noogie for 30 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah. Corey can then talk as much shit to Booker T as he wants, and Booker T can't retaliate. They'll get it all out of their systems and we'll be good.
You know what? I like the idea, but a 30-second noogie is a bit much. So I would give Corey Graves the shit talking and a chance at least one wedgie.
Well, if we split up into two 15-second noogies.
15-second noogie, wedgie, 15-second noogie.
We'll even supply Corey Graves with hair gel to fix his hair afterwards.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll tell you what. I will give Booker T a 15-second noogie and Indian burn.
And guys, not to speak for Chris, but I hear that Chris has offered up 3 wet willies as well.
Give Booker a 15-second noogie and an Indian burn, and I'll give Corey Graves 2 wet willies and a wedgie.
I think we got a deal, guys. I think we got a deal.
However,
They gotta do all this to Chris, right?
yeah.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
I will say, going back to the original question that was asked, what do I think of this? I think that it may have been a little immature of Corey Graves to kind of politic his way into getting Booker T fired from the Raw commentary team. However, Booker T is a fucking awful commentator. So I don't honestly have a problem with Booker T being gone, because I've said this many times, many times. Corey Graves is the greatest commentator that the WWE has had since Jim Ross was in his prime.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about that?
He's like Bobby Heenan good.
Yeah.
Can I change my pre-show real quick for WrestleMania?
To Corey Graves
Booker
versus Booker T.
No, not quite. So my idea is I do want Booker T and Corey Graves to come into the ring together, and I want a schoolboy match. Yeah, that maybe at the end. I want them to have a schoolboy fight where basically they have to fight each other, but they can only use noogies, wet willies, wedgies, and the occasional slap.
Is there like a group of lumberjacks that chant fight?
Yes, absolutely.
Outside perfect.
They're going to get to the local middle school, and they're going to get a couple kids, and they're going to be fight.
Oh, it's going to be local kids?
Yeah,
dude.
Great.
What are the rules on Indian burns, though?
No more than 5 seconds.
Okay.
Because it's the same as a rope choke.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we just got to talk one quick thing about the Elimination Chamber. We are running a little bit low on time,
Yes.
so we'll kind of get into it more. I just want to get one quick question from all of you guys. Next week on Raw, we do have the last chance for the Elimination Chamber. Who do you think is going to win it? My answer is Finn Balor, because Finn Balor should have won the first match against John Cena, but
don't you have to be over to win it?
I think so, yeah.
That's low.
That is mean.
Just a little bit.
I'm gonna
Well,
throw
guys, the
wild card.
WWE hates us. That's the most important thing. They really, really fucking hate us. And so the surprise winner is going to be Randy Orton from SmackDown.
He's going to come over and insert him. He's going to
it
have
will really
some,
be
like,
an RKO out of nowhere because he has no business on Raw.
Okay, so
who's qualified so far? I don't know this. Who's qualified?
we have
Brown.
Lesnar, Reigns, Cena, the Miz, and Elias.
Yeah.
No, it's Braun Strowman, not Lesnar.
yeah, Lesnar's not going to be in.
No?
Raw.
Is it?
Yeah,
Did I
yeah.
read it wrong?
And Elias
Oh,
will
sorry.
win a match on Raw, pinning Cena. So Elias is going to be the last one in the match.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's according to Wikipedia, it says Strowman, Elias, Cena, Reigns, and the Miz
And
versus
then-
to be determined.
Yeah, and the to be determined is like a last chance one with Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt, Matt Hardy, and I think one other person. I think it's a fatal 4-way match.
Yeah.
It's going to be Bray.
Balor.
I think it's going to be a guest insertion of the returning Enzo Amore.
Oh, man.
He was not even given future endeavors, so I don't think so.
That's where you're wrong. That's all kayfabe. He's coming back. I feel it.
The rape
You know what?
allegations were kayfabe. Got it.
Kayfabe, got it.
They're going back to the Katie Vick style storyline.
Oh, please don't.
So as much as I would like to see Wyatt or Hardy in there, I think it's going to be Balor.
All right, so it looks like we have a general consensus of Balor. Cappy said Balor. I said Balor. Josie
Nice.
said Balor. Josh said Randy Orton.
I
And
said Bray Wyatt. Thank you much, Lee. But also Randy Orton.
Yeah. Either one.
all right,
Either one. Both of them.
All right.
They're going to
Tucker.
put both in the same thing.
Josh, shush. Tucker, it's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you
If
for
you
having me.
want to join us on the show and compete for the Captain's Trivia title like Tucker did tonight, check out our Patreon. There's information on how to do all of that on our Patreon. That's patreon.com/averageguys. Like us on all the social media. You can find me on Twitter at PogForumZach. You can find Josie at Extra1Up. You can find Josh at Johnny F and Awesome. You can find the Cappy at Twitter handle that I forgot. Is it
Sorry,
just
Captain.
Captain SC.
Captain SC? I always think that the Dread Captain is in there. That's why, and I always know that's wrong. You can find Chris at the Great Hoff, spelled with 2 A's and no L. Maybe he'll return from his European vacation. He's been gone for almost a month now.
Guys, he's enjoying beautiful, sunny Eastern Europe.
Well, I don't think that that's possible. The last picture he sent me, it looked like he was in Chernobyl. I did send him some rat away. Hopefully he'll be okay. Cappy, you have a match this weekend, I'm guessing, at the Primo show.
Sure, I wanted to take a moment here, and I thank you for actually bringing it up to plug them both. I'm not officially on that card, but I will say that Saturday night, New Era Wrestling here in Denver is holding an event at the Mile High Comics warehouse down off of Pecos. It's called one of the matches that at least I'm looking forward to is Tony Morales versus new and up-and-comer Logan Austin. That's going to be a really, really good match, so I'm looking forward to that. And then, yes, Primo's on Sunday, live from the Watering Bowl Pain Clinic.
Where you can find all of the average guys, except for me, because my girlfriend's birthday is this weekend, and I would rather spend time with her. As much as I love you guys, I love her much more than all of you.
Oh.
Bring her to the wrestling show.
Yeah.
She does not like
Give her
wrestling.
flowers. Give her chocolates. Give her the pain clinic.
She
Give
also
her the
doesn't-
gift of the pain clinic, Zach.
she also does not get off until midway through the show. So
Ah.
So that means you could attend half the show. And then the other half of the show when you call her and say, hey, I'm at the wrestling show.
all right.
And then she'll respond with, your stuff is on the porch.
Which is impressive considering I don't have a porch.
Exactly.
All right. It's been a great week. The Eagles won the Super Bowl. I'm happy about that. This has been the Average Guys Pro Wrestling Podcast. We'll be back next week, same time, now on Wednesdays if you're used to Tuesdays. You can find us on iTunes, Podbean, all that fun stuff. Leave us a nice review. It does help us out as much as it doesn't seem like it does. We love you all. Have a good night.
Oh, before we go,
Oh, yeah, real quick. Tucker.
if you do want to find me in the future for any kind of social media fun stuff, you can find me at twitch.tv/Daisy407, as it says on the screen. As well, you can find me on Twitter at Daisy the Sad Boy. I had to put it in the chat because Sad Boy spelled kind of weird. And yeah, so I do appreciate you guys having me. And yeah, let's end on a good note.
All right, thanks for coming.
All right, Kevin, cut the feed.
Cut it,
Kevin,
Kevin.
stop.
Please.
Kevin, put the beer down and cut the feed.
Kevin,
Got it.
don't put the beer down. Bring me the beer and cut the feed.